Hello, and big exclamation point, hello, my wonderful friends, and welcome to the important message at the beginning of an Arlocast. As you might have noticed, a few weeks ago, we had an off week. There was just not an episode. Was going out of town and was considering trying to hurry and rush to get something done. Didn't really seem worth it. So we thought, you know what? Someday when we have sponsors, maybe we won't be able to just say, sorry, no episode this week. So we decided we'd take advantage of that. And there just kind of wasn't one. It was an off week. We relaxed. It was nice. And this week, I am actually out of town again. I am on vacation. Woohoo for me, all of the woohoo yippee-ki-yays in the world. But we didn't want to leave you hanging again. 2 weeks with no episode in 1 month. No good. So we thought that we would take the original episode 0 that was previously a Patreon exclusive. This was basically like the dry run of when we were planning the podcast. We decided we needed to just record something and just, put in music cues and see how everything worked. And so that was for the patrons. That was a good while ago. So we got that now. We're calling it episode 0. We're bringing it here now. Chris is going to add some new music cues and kind of doll it all up and make it seem as much like a regular episode as possible. Then next week, we will definitely be back with another regular episode, assuming everything goes to plan. I mean, I don't know, I might get swept out to sea and have to survive on an island for a few months. You never know. Life throws you curveballs sometimes, but I'm reasonably confident that next week we'll have another episode. So there you go. Here it is. Please enjoy Arlocast episode 0. Hello. Also, hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 0 of Arlocast. If you have been a patron for a while, then you'll know that Arlocast previously was a Patreon exclusive thing that was just me talking to myself and other people could listen to it, behind the scenes stuff. But if you didn't hear the most recent Arlocast in January or something, I do need to do a new one. But if you haven't heard that, then I will reveal to you right now, Arlocast is going public. I'm doing a real boy podcast. Like on the phones, and you can listen and stuff. It's a whole thing. It's going to be amazing. But right now we are here just for you fine patrons, you fine folks, doing basically a dry run, a test run, just to test out editing. I got a producer, Fancy, and he'll be editing them. And so just, all the technical stuff, just making sure it all works. And we thought we would do it for you fine patrons, whom I love very, very much. And I thought for this, I just needed 2 people, just needed 2 warm bodies. So I just ran out into the street. I pulled 2 random people off of the street. And they just happened, just by complete coincidence, they just happened to be 2 people who are quite important in the history of the channel. The first is Yoshiller, who you may know as one of the editors for Arlo. Yoshiller, say hello.
Hello, humans. I'm Yoshiller, and I am flattered to be here today, even if you did just go and scoop me off the street. But yeah, it's cozy here. I'm happy to be a part of this conversation.
I don't know why hanging out outside my house is a little weird, but you know what? That's okay. I hang out outside people's houses. And the second person is Lockstin of Noggin.
Hi. I'm surprised you ran 600 miles to come get me.
I did. That mountain Grants Pass, that was rough.
Yeah, you carried me the whole way back, too.
I did. It's been a long day. Boy, are my arms tired. And in case you don't know, which you should if you don't know, hey, learn your stuff. Lockstin, he does Noggin, and I kind of got my start, we did some collaborations on Noggin, and back when I had 250 subscribers, a whopping 250, the couple collabs that we did got me a couple thousand subscribers, kind of got my foot in the door as far as the algorithm is concerned. And then when I did some Paper Mario stuff, then it was like, hey, this guy has already gotten a little bit, basically got the ball rolling. So that was a very important part of my history, and I thank you for that.
No problem. It was a lot of fun too. It's good having mutual friends.
It's been too long since we've been. We used to we did a bunch of sketches, and then we had plans for a bunch more, and then you moved away, and then it just kind of didn't happen. Maybe someday we'll be able to do that stuff again.
Adulting happened.
Adulting happened. It happens, doesn't it? And for anyone listening, I do apologize ahead of time. I'm still dealing with seasonal allergies, and I wish I had allergies the same way that most people do, with the itchy eyes and the runny nose, but instead I just, like, my bronchial tubes swell up. I just cough, so I might have to, like, cough and clear my throat a bunch. I'm not sure. I kind of feel it coming on. I'm fighting it. But, hey, that's what an editor's for. That's what Chris is for. Chris is the editor. He's the producer. And so if you're listening to this, Chris, I'll try to cough a lot so you have a lot to do. And I suppose let's I don't know, like what do you do on a podcast? I got a really rough sort of outline, but this is pretty loosey-goosey today for the patrons and make it a little personal. How about you both tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do? Let's start with Yoshiller.
Hi, so most people might know me because I attend conventions wearing a big old plush Yoshi hat on my head. And
Yep, that's where I met you.
That's true.
That is exactly how I recognized you immediately, too.
That's exactly correct. I think I met both of you at the same time.
Yes,
because
you
we went
did, at Nintendo. At the Nintendo HQ.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, I do know you guys. I remember we were sitting in the lobby, and they had the Wii U version of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild hooked up, and we all just kind of sat there, like, trying to make conversation, and I think I said something to the effect of, well, I'm going to play Legend of Zelda. I'm going to try and get that star fragment that just fell on the screen. And I don't think...
Yes, we were all looking, and we were like, it fell so far away, and we're like, okay, who can get there? Like, do you think anyone can get there before it disappears or before it's sunrise?
Yeah, I don't think we got it, but it was just that... It was like that short-lived bonding moment, and that's how we all met each other. But that was a lot of fun. But aside...
That was when we saw Reggie. I don't know if you saw Yoshiller because you were sitting on the couch facing me, but I was like elbowing Josh sitting next to me, like, it's Reggie! It's Reggie! I didn't know if you got
You scared me so much when you just suddenly, like, whacked Josh.
I didn't see Reggie with my own eyes at that event, but, like, I saw and heard you guys talking about it, and then by the time I turned around, he was gone. That's okay.
It was so brief. He just walked down the hall and then walked out of the way. Oh, it was incredible. It's very, very funny that we all met there, though. It was like the indie event. Yeah. Like they just wanted to invite a bunch of influencers to come and play a bunch of indie games. It was really surreal and just weird.
Yeah, and it's cool because usually that's not the first time Nintendo has held an indie event during PAX Prime or PAX West. They usually do so at a separate venue, like the EMP Museum or something. So the fact that they even held it at the headquarters that year, it was like, yeah, I want to go to the headquarters. That's cool. Granted, we were taken to a separate press conference type room, but it was just the general principle that we were at the headquarters, and that's where we met.
Oh, yeah. We got to see the sign and see all the cool... And the bathrooms had, like, the Nintendo characters on them and stuff. And the spread was amazing. It was legendary. Remember the food there?
Oh, dude, the catering. I had those little cake cubes. I even took a picture with their permission. Oh, it was so good.
It was so good.
It was incredible. Lockstin was the hardcore keto, but he took a nibble of the macaron. The macaron was just like, this is amazing.
Because it was my first bit of sugar in like 6 months. It was that much more amazing.
But to answer your question, what do I do?
That whole thing.
I edit videos. I edit Arlo's videos. I edit for a couple of other channels as well. So I figure if I can't pop up randomly at conventions, I'll just pop up randomly as the editor for a bunch of YouTube videos. I do a bunch of videos on Nintendo games, and it's fun, and I wear a Yoshi hat. Woohoo!
Yeah, you got a channel.
I do have a channel. I try to do videos as frequently as I can. These days I'm playing new Pokemon Snap. I plan to get back into Age of Calamity once new Pokemon Snap is done. And I basically alternate between doing walkthroughs and multiplayer matches of games like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers and Pokemon.
You're prolific at producing that content, I must say. I am frequently impressed.
Thank you.
By how much you're able to put out there.
I am flattered, thank you. When new Pokemon Snap came out, I was rolling and I did 23 videos in 3 days. Nowadays,
wow.
I had to slow down because now the game's getting harder for me to like find all the secrets and stuff, and it's like, I can't go at the same speed I once did. But, you know, I used to do videos daily. I had to slow that down, but the routine was that I did walkthroughs on the weekdays and multiplayer content on the weekends. So, with any luck, as we approach June and July, I will get back into that schedule, and I'll still edit for other people, just because I like doing it. I live for the thrill of the challenge and the bragging rights. So that's
well, you better.
Thank you.
What about you, Lockstin? What do you do? Is it at Winco? You work at a grocery store? You work at Winco?
I am a full-fledged PokeTuber these days. Lately we've been getting a lot into Fakemon Creating, which is just like
so good.
designing.
That stuff is so good.
Yeah, it's a really good creative outlet. Just designing, doing all the research, figuring out really cool connections, and then commissioning an artist to throw all of my notes together into an actual drawing. And it's been a really popular series, making the Cascade region, which is based around the real-world Cascade Mountains, so the Pacific Northwest. It's one of my most successful series. It's doing really good.
I'm really glad to hear, because when you were pitching the idea, I'm like, okay, this idea is too good. I mean, it's so up my alley. I mean, we like game design and game development and all that stuff. So I'm like, this has to work. It absolutely does, because like it's too cool. It's too fun. Like just playing in your whole entire region. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen any of that, like go check out his channel. Just create, because like here's the thing, not a lot of people actually know that Pokemon have such like deep, like rich histories to their designs and the way that the names are created and all that stuff. Like I didn't even know that until you. Like you're basically the one that taught me that. And so yeah, he goes all that. Oh yeah, just the love you guys are putting into it. It's good. It's mwah, chef's kiss. That's what you get.
Because like anyone can slap an element onto an animal, like it's a fire dog. But now
Yeah.
like, what more can you add to that? What are the cultural inspirations? Is there some history stuff? And like, not all Pokemon are super deep. Like Stoutland is like literally a dog, but it does happen to have a mustache beard thing that resembles a specific Scottish king that I forget the name of. But like every mon has something to them that's a lot deeper than what most monster games do, and that's exactly what I wanted to try to emulate.
Yeah, it's like apple pie Pokemon. That's stupid, and you're like, whoa, whoa.
Hang
That
on,
was crazy. Like what?
it's a Wyrm in an apple. Hello, the British Wyrm.
And then the one that's like the hills. I don't even remember. Like you had.
It lives inside of a hill, and that's like there's. And it's a really good way to just build a big library of content because there's like 8 billion Pokemon. So there you go, 8 billion videos.
Yeah, exactly. And so before you were a full-time PokeTuber, you did other stuff on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, mainly Nintendo things. Just lots of Nintendo-esque theories, timeline stuff, applying science to video games, all that jazz.
Game theory, basically.
Yeah, but
not
on a tighter budget.
I'm not saying basically the channel game theory, but basically the thing game theory.
Yeah.
Looking into theories regarding video games.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I think technically game theory has like a specific definition, and I can't remember what it is, but
yeah,
it's
it's a whole field of real science, and it has nothing to do with video games.
Lame, boring. Well, I'm Arlo. I run the channel Arlo's. Okay, no, I guess most people probably know that.
Introduce yourself. Go for it. What do you do? Where are you from?
I'm Cookie Monster. I live on 123 Sesame Street. You know what? I don't think Cookie Monster lives on 123 Sesame Street. Some specific characters live on 123. Anyway, I don't actually. Yeah, like I said, I don't even really have much of a structure for this. We kind of just gotta. Again, it's more for testing purposes and kind of like a way for the patrons. It's like it's not a goodbye to the previous format. I will still be doing, I don't know, probably like Arlocast or something along those lines. I'll still be doing those. I'm still due for one. But this is kind of like, I don't know. I just thought I'd give you guys like the first little taste. But I also just kind of have to give Chris stuff to edit, kind of just like give the feeling of a podcast. So that's why I'm introducing a segment called What's in the News? And then I assume just now you heard like a fun little musical thing. It's placeholder music probably at the moment, but just a nice little thing to introduce the segment. What's in the news? What is some recent stuff? I already have probably talked about most of the recent news because I have the news roundup. And any current happenings in the world of Nintendo that either of you would like to talk about?
Well, Lockstin, do you want to go first? Because I fear that I'm going to go into rumor territory, and rumors aren't necessarily news.
Hey, that's good, though. I love rumor. That counts. It's stuff to talk about,
Yeah. I can't actually really think of anything other than, like, there's been a lot of, like, obviously fake Pokemon leaks coming out for the Arceus game and the Gen 4 remakes, and they're so obviously fake, but that's not stopping them from going around everywhere.
Yeah, nothing will ever stop them.
Yeah, it's a big issue.
Remember those really like blurry screenshots of a character, and they had an Eevee on their head, and it was like, this is stupid. This is so fake.
It's just because every once in a while something like that happens, and one screenshot turns out to be real. So everyone's like, oh, see, you see this because this one screenshot is real. That means every subsequent time, they all have to be real. Remember the Smash leak?
Exactly. One every 10 years.
Because the Smash leak was real, that means all Smash leaks are real. And it's like, no,
it's such an issue.
Yeah.
The Grinch leak is still real. It's still going to happen.
Yeah, man, we're going to get Shadow and Gina. See, Banjo was on there. Banjo was in the Grinch leak.
See? Proof.
Yeah.
Confirmation.
God.
But yeah, that's the only like big bit of news I've been noticing in the Nintendo side of things. Just Pokemon leaks that are very clearly fake.
Yeah. I mean, the only other Pokemon news that's happened as of late is they're still doing 25th anniversary stuff, so they're still bringing in pop stars to do songs.
Yeah,
and
Katy Perry's going to sing with a Pichu. That's going to be cute, I guess.
Yeah, like, that's cool.
Wow, I didn't know about the Pichu part.
Promotional stuff I see as a good thing, even if it is just like, consumerism, Pokemon fans, give us money. It's like, all right, whatever. I still think it's cool. But
it's no skin off anyone's back, It's harmless.
Yeah, they're doing this for us. They want to put on a concert, let them put on a concert. Who cares? I haven't followed it as much. I did some stuff as part of the promotion, I guess. Like, I bought some of those fancy Pokemon shirts. They're nice quality. I like them. But I haven't followed a lot of the pop music stuff they've been doing with, like, Post Malone or Katy Perry or anything like that. So,
yeah,
that's
that virtual concert was a little unnerving. It was a little strange, but it was all right.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know who he was before that happened.
No, me neither. Is Post a name? Is that a name of a band? Post Malone? I don't know.
I think that's just his artist name. I know I'm going to sound like out of the loop as well, but the only reason I even knew who he was is because I go to enough, like, tourneys, I guess, where they play music, just like in the lounging area, because some of these venues are shared with a bar or something, so they just play music. And Post Malone's music would come on. So it only, after hearing the song enough times, you realize, oh, this is Circles by Post Malone, one of the songs in the Billboard Top 100 right now. But I couldn't tell you any of his other songs.
Question about Post Malone.
Okay.
Is there a pre-Malone?
That's a good question. Maybe that's his father.
That's
Or
Malin.
just a Malone. Malin.
Maybe that's another family member. Or maybe that's his rival.
I'm sure I am the first person who's ever made that joke. 100% sure. Literally 100. So you said you did have some other thing?
Me?
Some rumor territory?
Well, yeah. I mean, as we approach E3, we get a bunch of rumors of what different companies are going to show. And we have the big rumor that Nintendo is finally going to unveil the so-called Switch Pro at this event. Mm-hmm. And with that comes all these other rumors of like, oh, we're finally going to see Breath of the Wild 2. We might see this new Donkey Kong game. We might see Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4. And I'm inclined to believe some of that just because Nintendo made a big deal about them getting involved with E3 this year. Like, we all know
they committed really fast, really early on.
We all know that Nintendo doesn't have to do E3. As a matter of fact, at this point, no company does E3. And I thought for sure that they were gonna that they were toast. That's a nice way of putting it. I thought for sure that they were done for. That they were gonna be gone.
I kind of thought they would, but now that they're back, it's just kind of like, okay, I guess they're never gonna die.
Yeah, and I guess like after one or two companies say yes, and when those one or two companies are Microsoft and Nintendo, then a lot of other companies are like, we want to be part of this E3 conference too. We want that publicity. It seems like the best thing to do for our corporation.
Exactly.
So
and Summer Games Fest. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I don't know everything. Yeah. So I only see it as a good thing. If Nintendo wants to pay the $10,000 fee, whatever, to be part of E3, fine. Because to me, that means they want to use E3 to promote something, and if they need E3 for it, it's got to be something big. So I think it's time for Switch Pro and all these other rumors that are coming out about a Donkey Kong game and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 and Bayonetta 3 and whatever. Yeah, I think it's time. I don't know about all of them being shown at the same conference, but like maybe we'll.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
we'll see all of them.
it's kind of a good position to be in because there's so many potentials that even if like only a handful of them end up happening, that's still like not bad at all. You know, like
still big news.
Between all of the games that we're waiting on information for, even just some will be pretty good. My thing though is that like at least like not in recent years, they have not revealed hardware and things like that in like even direct presentations. In the past, E3 was the only platform they ever had, so they would reveal their big new systems at E3. But then like the Switch Lite got its own kind of thing. I feel like most things like that do. This could be an exception because it's kind of a more exciting upgrade. But you know what? My theory. I actually keep forgetting to tweet this, just so that it's on paper, so that it's everyone can see it. I think there's a fine chance that we'll get a Switch Pro random reveal like any second now, in preparation for E3, so that when E3 happens, they can be like, "Here's Breath of the Wild 2. Hey, you want to play that on the Switch Pro that we already revealed?" You know what I mean?
I think you're onto something. Actually, I actually didn't even consider that they would do it before. I guess there's nothing to say that they couldn't. They kind of the last time Nintendo used a Nintendo Direct to promote a piece of hardware was technically the new 3DS, I believe, because that was, if we're talking about Japanese Nintendo Directs, they had a presentation just before PAX Prime in 2014. It was the same presentation that unveiled Shulk. That's the main reason I remember it. And they used the latter half of the presentation to say, here's the new 3DS, and we're making some exclusive games for it, like Xenoblade 3D and stuff like that. So you bring up a good point that, yeah, I guess they don't need to use E3 to promote the Switch. I think it's a good idea for them to do so because it would be the talk of the town. But you're right, they could unveil it before. They did something similar with the Wii U, I want to say in 2012 when they basically had to re-unveil it, because they showed it in 2011 back when it had the circle pads for the instead of joysticks.
Glad they changed that.
Yeah. And then 2012 E3 rolls around, and then the day before Nintendo's E3 conference, they had a separate thing where Iwata unboxed a Wii U or something, or just showed basic features of it, like Miiverse and stuff. So you might be right, and if they do that, cool. More time for them to talk about other stuff in their actual conference. So I'm totally in favor of that.
Yeah, I can see both, and the fact that you bring up that the new 3DS was revealed in a Direct, though, that sets a precedent for, yes, revealing a Switch Pro. So it really could go either way at this point. And obviously, like, at all times, it could go either way, just because it's Nintendo and they can do whatever they want. They could not reveal it at all. They could wait until fall before they reveal it. Or not reveal it at all because we thought it was coming last year and the year before, and then it didn't. So who knows?
It's just not a thing.
This is not a thing. You guys made it up. It's not real. Go home, everybody. Go play with your regular Switch that is, like, just progressively struggling to keep up with the games that we are creating for it.
My friends and I have been joking that the new Switch model is not going to be called the Switch Pro, but it will instead be called the Switcheroo, because it just sounds like a name Nintendo would give it. So, for the sake of conversation, if you hear me say Switcheroo, just out of habit, I'm referring to the Switch Pro, just before that causes confusion.
And it'll be like switched and like ERUU. It'll be like the Wii.
You know what? Yeah. That's exactly how they would do it. Or they would do the O's, but they draw like the Cappy's eyes from Mario Odyssey into the O's and just like make a goofy looking logo out of it.
I'd be happy with that just because that might mean we get more Odyssey. I just want an Odyssey too. That's really all I want.
I'd love an Odyssey too. But hey, I mean, tying that in though, it sounds like the R&D devs that were working on Odyssey in the past might be working on a Donkey Kong game, which is
and I'm so worried about it. Like, just by all accounts, it probably is a 2D game, and that's just going to be so. And especially like if it ends up being new Donkey Kong, I'm gonna cry. Not good cry. It's gonna be a bad cry.
Oh no! Why?
If like we haven't been working on we haven't been working on the latest 3D Mario. We've been working on new Donkey Kong. I don't know.
Personally, I love those new Donkey Kong games, the 2D ones. They're some of my favorite 2D platformers.
I like them. But usually when they slap new on the front, Yoshi's New Island, New Super Mario Brothers, that just means, hey, let's make the same thing again, except like with no personality.
I know
Here's
what
the
you're
first
getting
one.
at.
We're gonna do 6.
I get what you're getting at, and I remember when Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was unveiled at E3 2013. You know, obviously it turned out to be a phenomenal game, and it even had some hype during its reveal. But I do vaguely remember it just kind of getting glanced over in comparison to the other games Nintendo showed during that presentation, because everyone's like, "Oh, yep, all right, another Donkey Kong. This time it's on Wii U. All right, next, let's see Mario Kart," like that type of thing. So I get it.
Yeah.
I will say we live in a day and age though where Nintendo is being operated a bit differently, and we have guys at the top like Koizumi who are, I'm inclined to say, like on the side of the fans. They're like,
he should be the president.
Yeah, Koizumi's the type of guy to be like, nah, I think fans are tired of new Super Mario Brothers. I think they want something more like 64 and Sunshine, you know? So I could see him approaching the Donkey Kong team and saying something to the effect of, why would you guys just make Donkey Kong Country again? We already got Retro Studios for that. Why don't you try something different with the Donkey Kong formula? So for all I know, it'll be something more like Super Mario 3D World, where it's not a sandbox game, but it's not a 2D side-scroller, but you're still trying to get to the end of each level. I don't know. We'll see what they come up with. But I'm excited.
I would take a 3D World style hybrid for Donkey Kong. Anything other than just a straight 2D platformer. Like, it's got to be something. I mean, I made a whole video about this. It needs to be something new for Donkey Kong. It can't just be, here's another Donkey Kong. Do you like Donkey Kong? Buy it. It's just, I don't know, like, in 2D platformers, they don't do that well on Switch, and I know I get a lot of flack for saying that, but just, like, I know there aren't that many, but, like, there's just kind of a trend, like a regular plain old 2D platformer that doesn't really do anything that exciting. It doesn't do that well. It doesn't, like, revitalize the series or anything. Like, they need it to wow people.
That's true. I know Yoshi.
We need a new Donkey Kong rap.
Ooh, see, now you're talking.
That's really the only thing. I mean, like, even if it is a 2D game, as long as they do DK Rap 2.0, should be pretty good to go. Wow, this is definitely a part of this episode and not something that I recorded like 5 months later or anything. It's time for a word from our sponsor. This episode of Arlocast is brought to you by my Patreon patrons, my wonderful, beautiful, dazzling, sparkling, majestic Patreon patrons. I am so painfully thankful of your support. Some of you have been with me just for years, and it's incredible, and especially now pushing into a new frontier of podcasts and everything. It is so awesome to always have support. So whether you have been pledging with me for years or you just kicked $2 really recently, doesn't even matter. I thank you all so incredibly much. I love you. I wish I were kissing all of your faces, every single one of you individually right now. So kiss yourself for me right now. Thank you. You are awesome. And now we return to Yoshiller and Lockstin.
So that's it. That's all I got. There hasn't been much news this week. I mean, unless you want to talk about Mario Golf.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I actually forgot that was happening.
Yeah, they just dropped the whole thing, and it was just kind of like a little Mario Golf Direct. They just revealed the whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks hype. I'm gonna get it.
I missed that somehow.
It came out this morning. Well, you know what happened?
Oh.
Nintendo made a tweet. They're like, hey, here's a new Mario Golf trailer. And then they just proceeded to do 10 more tweets afterward, full of advertisements for other games that have come out recently, like Famicom Detective Club. So Mario Golf kind of got buried. But hey, I mean, it still looks like a phenomenal game, and you can play as Charge and Chuck, and I think that that's awesome.
That is cool. I was really, like, I've never been a big fan of the sports ones, like Aces was my first tennis one. I was really burned by it, though. The trailer made it look really cool, and then when I got it, the content just wasn't there. So, like, this does look really cool, but I'm definitely going into it wary, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like the story, like the single-player story, they made it look really epic and cool in Aces, and so here, like, I don't know, I just hope there's more than you can see in the trailer. Because, like, that's a big problem. Like, often when I'm disappointed with a Nintendo game, it's because the trailer made it look like a thing. And then when you see a trailer for a game, you expect to then play the game and see that the trailer was a taste of what you could expect. and then you see more that wasn't in the trailer. But then sometimes you turn it on and like that was all of it. There's nothing that you didn't see in the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do, and the best example I can give for that is Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, where the trailer literally showed everything that was in the game. Like you couldn't.
You can get big now.
There was not a single other thing. Like they showed every character. They showed every court. You could not play online with friends. You could play online against random people, and there were only like 2 modes in the game, and it was such a burn. But maybe that's why I enjoyed Mario Tennis Aces more, because it was like Mario Tennis Ultra Smash was like the demo, a full-priced $60 demo for what became.
I can't even imagine.
Well, I got it for free. That was like the first game Nintendo sent me, so I still thank Nintendo for sending it to me. I had fun with it, but compared to Mario Tennis Aces is so much more superior, so I enjoyed it. But I get it. If you're randomly going into Mario Tennis Aces without having been burned by a previous Mario Tennis installment, I could see how it would be underwhelming. I could see how, you want a good single-player experience because maybe you play the multiplayer once or twice and you're done with it, and then single-player, you want something more than a tournament mode, so you see, oh, there's a story mode, and it's just a set of missions on a world map, and I get it. That's not the most engaging thing.
Yeah, like it just with the cutscene and it made it look like it was going to be like this cool epic story. And then it just wasn't. Like the cutscene you see in the trailer, that's it. That's the cutscene of the story mode. There's like no other ones. And on this subject, it's funny, the whole idea of like the trailer kind of showing everything and the game not really going beyond that. I love Super Mario Odyssey, but I would say it falls into that category as well.
A little bit.
They showed almost every level, every capture, everything there is to see and experience in the game. So you play it and you're like, this is amazing, but like it's not really more amazing than I expected it would be based on the trailer. There's nothing, nothing surprising about it.
Well, I mean, there's the after game. I don't know if it like counts as a spoiler to talk about it anymore, so I'm trying to choose my words carefully.
No, you can just, I don't
There's
know.
the whole after game that was like not shown at all and was kept very secretive, which I thought was cool.
It's true. I mean, yeah, like feature-wise, that's true, but I don't know. I guess just like visually, Nintendo,
Sure.
This last generation, they've all been about visually showing off every cool visual thing that there is to see. Like Breath of the Wild, I tried to avoid the last couple trailers, and even like looking back on them, I'm glad I did because they basically showed every visual thing that you would end up seeing in the game. Is even if it's just a quarter of a second, it's still there. You're still like, oh yeah, that thing that I saw in the trailer. Like I don't know. I know I'm very spoiler averse, and a lot of people tell me I'm silly for it, but I don't know. I like to discover it completely fresh, never seen it before, didn't know it was going to be a thing,
I can respect that.
You are very silly for it.
I know, I know. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I totally
sorry
get it.
to everyone I've disappointed. So that's Mario Tennis or golf or whatever the heck it is.
With the golf conversation
Sports.
become tennis.
Yeah, Mario Sports. I wonder if they'll do another like the one where they collect the different sports or whatever.
Well, there's Sports Mix for the Wii, and then there's Sports Superstars for the 3DS. Sports Superstars, I believe, was made by Camelot, so that could be what they work on after Mario Golf. Sports Mix was by Square Enix, and who knows if they're making another game with Nintendo or not. It's always up in the air with them, so I don't know.
It's weird that Square Enix, I didn't know that. It's weird that they would even dip into so many different developers just to make the Mario sports game. You'd think they would have like the one team making every single Mario. I mean, Camelot is that largely, right? They do at least most of them?
So, I don't know anymore, because it's Camelot for tennis and golf. It was Next Level Games for soccer. It was Square Enix for basketball. And then I think it's Namco for baseball. I think. I might have that wrong. Maybe Camelot does the baseball one too. But I recall reading that it was Namco somewhere.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Especially because they're not like massive games or anything. They come out. Maybe it's because of the regularity at which they come out. You get one every few years, so maybe they have to kind of split them between different teams.
Oh, maybe you're right. Actually, that's a good point.
Well, I won't force any conversation. The length of this. We don't have to go like the full hour or whatever. So let's move on to another segment. One that I like to call "What You Been Playing." And then, of course, I assume there was some cool music there. This is a thing. I'm basically just moving over some of the topics from the Patreon Arlocast from before, and just kind of like, what have you guys been playing? What video games have you been playing recently? Who wants to start?
Yesterday, I realized that we had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and like weeks ago, I was in the mood for Mario Kart, but didn't want to get the Wii U out. But then it turns out one of my housemates has it on Deluxe, so I just went through the whole game and unlocked all the stuff again, and it was a lot of fun.
That's fun. I do wish that game had more single-player content and, like, unlocky stuff at the very least. And, of course, I miss challenge mode, which is really disappointing that Nintendo doesn't care about that anymore, except for in the mobile one. But, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to go through and unlock everything.
Yeah, that and Doom Eternal. Those are the two big games I've been playing.
How is that? I haven't been able to play it. I don't know if I will anytime soon, but
it's probably
pretty good.
It's probably my favorite game of all time, honestly.
That is, wow, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really surprising.
Like, the first one was amazing, and then this one just blew the first one out of the water, which is funny because I see online a lot of people feel the opposite, but I don't know. It hits all those buttons perfectly.
I do. I do hear a lot of opposite opinions about that. I've seen a fair number of people. I'd say the majority are positive, but like, a decent number of people who are like, they ruined it or whatever. But favorite of all time, that's it.
Yeah, just ran through all the DLC, and the DLC was a little bit of a letdown. Like, I didn't enjoy it as much as the base game, but it was still definitely worth it.
The weird thing about that is, isn't it like, okay, I thought it was going to be an ongoing series. I didn't realize there was going to be 2 games and that's it. But then aren't they also like finishing the story in the DLC? So you have to wait for the DLC to finish the game?
That's why I played it recently, is because the DLC finally came out. And yeah, it definitely ends with a hard end. Like, this is the end. They'd have to reboot it or do a prequel or something to continue.
That's so weird. I thought they were launching a new thing, and especially like the end of the first one, it kind of felt like they were already into, like, the way it ended was kind of like, all right, you're going to release the next one in like a year, right? And then they didn't. And then they took a long time, and then they're like, okay, we're done. Doom's done. Very surprising. But then I guess Monster Hunter Rise is kind of the same way, where like the story doesn't really end in the game. It's gonna be in the DLC. I don't know when. I don't know which chunk of DLC, but I'm looking forward to that. You can't leave me hanging like that for months.
Right. I just wanted to have the whole game there. Like, it was so hard getting back into the DLC because like it's designed to be post game, like after you beat the main game. So like the difficulty spike from having not played it in months was extreme.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm probably going to wait till that's all done and wrapped up, and maybe they have a Game of the Year edition or something. So I could just kind of play it all at once. I don't know. Like, I have heard some things about it that makes it sound really hard and a little bit more stressful. So I'm sure I'll play it someday, but I'm not, like, in a hurry to.
I get that.
Well, what about you, Mr. Schiller? What you been playing?
So, new Pokemon Snap has basically become my life. Just as I thought it would be, and I regret nothing in that front. So that's
understandable.
That's been a lot of fun. I am struggling to figure out how to get certain 4-star photos of certain Pokemon, and I'm really trying to not look anything up. I feel like the thrill of a fun game like this is to discover things for yourself. But I was able to contribute to some websites who were struggling to find some 3-star and 4-star opportunities. So I was like, hey, that's nice. And then I tried.
Yeah, those requests are hard. Like,
yeah,
they're
crazy.
super hard.
And I'm like, what? I'll read them. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? You can set that up. What the heck? Anyway, I just have to be careful because I don't want to spoil stuff about the game. I don't know what constitutes a spoiler anymore, but everyone gets so up in arms about certain things that I'm trying.
You play it safe. It's a good idea.
Yeah. So, but I've been thoroughly enjoying it. It's everything I wanted and more. I mean, I could wish that certain Pokemon were in the game, but in terms of, like, fundamentals and gameplay, I love it. I was trying to compete high scores with the people on my friends list, and, you know, I booted up the game recently and saw that one of my friends is, like, closing in on 4 million points, and I'm at 1.5 million, and I said, all right, never mind, I don't think this is going to happen anymore. So, you know, it's cool that my friends are playing it so actively, though, so that makes me happy. But then aside from games that I'm actively recording for my channel, such as new Pokemon Snap, I have a group of friends that are basically obsessed with Monster Hunter Rise. They play it any chance they can. They'll just sit in this Discord group, and anytime 2 or 3 people are in that chat, they're like, "You want to play Monster Hunter Rise?" And it's funny because I'm only Hunter rank 6 or Hunter rank 7, which is okay, right? But compared to them, they are literally Hunter rank 167 and Hunter rank 206. And I feel bad when I join them, because when I play with them and their Hunter ranks are so high, we can only do missions that are my level. Because I'm not good enough to be, 40 times my level here. So it's
well, the good thing is that eventually, once you hit 8 and you unlock, you're not too far away. Once they added the first batch of DLC, it doesn't take too long to unlock your rank, and after that, it's just a number. It doesn't even give you new missions. So you don't have too much to catch up on.
It's true. It's a game that I play with them because they play it, and the main reason I even got Monster Hunter Rise was because of basically a bet that happened in Animal Crossing, where I was recording Animal Crossing every day for my channel for a year, and one of the things was I was trying to catch 100 fish in a row, because there's an achievement in the game for that, and I just kept messing it up, and it was driving me crazy. And one of my friends, for some reason, just had 600 bags of fish bait, and he said, "Come over to my island, you can use all my bags of fish bait, and while you go fishing, I'll craft more, but in exchange, you have to buy Monster Hunter Rise and play with us." And I said, okay. And it took 2 hours, but I knocked out the achievement, and I got Monster Hunter Rise on their behalf, and I do enjoy it. I obviously don't play it nearly as much as they do, but I have been having fun playing with them. I've been playing all sorts of games I never thought I would have gotten for my Switch, like Animal Crossing, so why not just add Monster Hunter to the mix? And it's just a game I play when I'm exporting a video or something. So it's not a game I'm active with. It's not a game I've researched or tried to get competitive in something like Pokemon or Smash Brothers. But it's a game I've been playing more and more frequently because I have a lot of friends that play it.
Yeah, I'm certainly glad you're playing it, because I had someone to make the review for me.
Yeah, that works out. I do admit it's a little difficult because you talk about weapons that I don't use. This is my first Monster Hunter. So you mention stuff, and you're very good at explaining things for someone who is new to this series. But even then, I'm like, oh god, this is overwhelming for me. I don't even know how to use this weapon. So I'll ask one of my friends, do you know how to use this weapon? And they'll say, we know how to use all the weapons. And I'm like, great, I need footage of this.
Well, I mean, you did a good job. In fact, the review should be coming out soon here. I think we just need to work on the last couple notes. So
yeah.
You patrons, you get a little, this is what's happening. The Monster Hunter review will be coming this week.
That's on me.
Super late.
That's on me.
Whatever.
Arlo has given me the notes. He has looked it over. The ball is in my court. I will take care of the edits. They are not too bad. I just got to sit down and do them.
Well, I've had 1,000 other things I've been working on. Actually, right before this podcast, I put out my first little comedy sketch, a little new Pokemon Snap sketch. I don't know if anyone saw that yet.
I did just before we started.
I haven't seen that.
There it is. Fun.
I'm eager to go back and look at the analytics. Pretty excited.
I'm gonna check that out soon.
I think it's good that you're doing sketch comedy like that. It kind of, if I may throw out another YouTuber's name, it gives me a vibe of something like ProZD, and I think it's something that complements your channel well, because you already did or do sketches at the beginning of your videos anyway. So why the heck not do a 10-second sketch?
Yeah, he's an inspiration. Him and Gus Johnson are pretty much my two big inspirations here.
Oh, fair enough.
And back on topic, I suppose for me, I was completely into Monster Hunter Rise. I had to stop Monster Hunter Rise. No, okay. First I was playing Night in the Woods. I got pretty darn far, but then Monster Hunter Rise came out. But then I had to stop playing Monster Hunter Rise to play Pokemon Snap. But then I had to stop playing Pokemon Snap to play Resident Evil 8. But I have finished Snap, and I do want to do a review of Resident Evil 8. I am dropping the ball. With a non-Nintendo review, I kind of have to do it quickly in order to make it work. But other stuff has just been getting in the way, and I also don't know if I can find someone to edit it. And I don't have time to edit it, because I don't know anyone who is an editor who played... Hey, Lockstin, has Josh played Resident Evil 8? Is he accepting work right now?
Yeah, I actually didn't even know it released yet.
I mean,
I did. It's very good.
I would volunteer because my friends play Resident Evil 8, and I saw them streaming it a little bit. I'm not super caught up on the game, but if you really are a little more shall we say, desperate, I could try to do
I am
it.
fairly do you think
Is it more like 7, or is it more like the earlier ones?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely a continuation of 7, but it like pays homage to like 4 very heavily, and brings back a lot of cool stuff from. It's incredible. The only thing you need to know about it is that it's really, really good. That's basically it.
The big roadblock, though, is I don't have a way to get footage of it. I don't have a PlayStation, and I don't know if my computer can run it.
Yeah.
So
We'd have to like find a Let's Play or something. I mean, it's doable. Look at the list of the approved channels or whatever. See if someone did a. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Maybe if you're not opposed to getting it spoiled for you,
I don't mind. Resident Evil spoils. I saw how 7 ended like the day the game came out. I'm fine. I don't care.
All right, yeah, maybe we'll see if we can find a Let's Play. Maybe we can do that for me. It's a pretty short game too, so it shouldn't be too hard. Anyway, now we're just talking work. We probably shouldn't talk work on a podcast.
You were playing Resident Evil. That's how this started.
Yes, I was playing Resident Evil, but now, yeah, I finished that. But then I finished Pokemon Snap. I actually, if I get time after this, I need to record part of the Pokemon Snap review so Kane could start working on that. And then I don't know, Monster Hunter, I'll try to put it down until the DLC comes out. Try to finish Night in the Woods. That's where I'm at right now. I really want to finish Night in the Woods. I was really enjoying it.
I really liked that too.
It's a good one. It's super duper good. It's a lot like bigger than I anticipated. Like there's so much to do in any given day, and there's so many characters to talk to, and I don't know, like fun little bits of gameplay sprinkled in here. And it's a good game. It's a real good one. I'll definitely be reviewing that. And I want to bring back eShop reviews, where I just do like 5 mini reviews. I always want to bring that back, and I just don't. And it's probably been a year since the last one. I did 2 in a row. I got to do that again because I love eShop games, especially now. I want to get into game development, so I've been trying to do market research. That was actually a big reason I played Night in the Woods. Usually I'll wait till the game is like on sale and I'm in the right mood, but I was like, you know what? No. Like one of the things I want to do with games is make games with a lot of like fun characters and comedy and like storytelling and stuff. So I was just like, I just got to play Night in the Woods. I just heard so much about it, so I just kind of did it. Paid full price. Weird, I know, for me. Bizarre.
You supported an indie dev. I don't think it should be frowned upon.
I know. It's true. I've actually been trying harder recently to be a little more trigger happy with my indie purchases and just be like, you know what? I have a giant backlog. I don't need this. I should wait for a sale or just not at all. Oh, well, they deserve the support. This game is cool. Just buy it, you know?
Yeah.
Spend a little expendable income on it. I'm sure they could use it.
You might like Tori 3D, I think it's called. It's an eShop game. It's only 99 cents, but like it's totally worth it. It's a really good 3D platformer. It's only like an hour or so.
I heard about it. It's like kind of N64 style.
Yeah. It also has like a bit of a Sonic Adventure kind of vibe.
Okay, yeah, I heard good things about it. I'll definitely check that out. Well, that's it for that segment, and now we move on to a segment. Okay, I'll just lift them. I'll just lift them all wholesale from Patreon or Arlocast. Now a segment called "What You Been Eating." What kind of food you been enjoying recently? That's what I always put it. I always put it at the end in case people who like don't want to hear about the super personal life stuff. I like what you listening to, what you eating, just that kind of stuff. Because that's just how desperate I am to fill space. I guess I love talking about myself. What have you guys been eating?
Oh no. This, like, breaks friendships with me because I'm not a food guy. Anyone who's met me knows I'm, like, a tall stick. I eat because I have to, not because I want to. So, I'm also very picky, so, like, going out of my way to try and taste certain flavors and create certain combinations, I'm not a food guy. I'm sorry. I love watching food shows, and I respect the craft, but I eat the bare minimum, so all I can really say is yesterday I drove 20 miles to Krispy Kreme and bought some donuts. So I've been eating donuts.
That's a good answer.
Is that a good answer?
It's a very fun answer.
I wish I could say I ate the bare minimum, but I can't. Not even close. What about you, Lockstin? What kind of crazy keto concoction you been cooking up?
We recently picked up a cast iron skillet and a cookbook.
Only recently?
Yeah, I've never really bothered with like advanced cooking. I don't know if it's considered advanced or anything, but I've just been using nonstick pans for the most part. But yeah, we picked up a cast iron skillet and a book that's just called Cast Iron Keto, and we've just been going through it. And there's been a lot of hits and a lot of misses. Like, I've learned I really hate olives. Like, tremendously.
I despise olives. That's like the one food I can't eat. It's the one food I cannot even manage to choke down.
Yeah, it was the first time I had spent an hour making something, and then, like, one bite, and I just couldn't. Just no more, never again.
Oh, greens are they're the worst. They're so bad.
But there's been lots of... I had crab bisque for the first time. It was super good.
Oh.
Some, like, Mexican casseroles that are really high in fat, which is where all the flavor is. I think that's my favorite part of doing keto, is that, like, everything still tastes great.
Exactly, because you just put enough fat on... Oh, no, it's good stuff. I was doing really, really well for a while, doing, like, pretty darn low carb. I have not been recently. Been feeling very stressed out, and food is my escape, and it's been a thing. I've been escaping a lot, if you know what I mean.
I feel ya. Last year was so hard. I actually just stopped keto for, like, all of 2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that was okay, health-wise? Like...
I mean, I regained a little weight because stress eating and all that, but been back on it for a few months now, and it's already fallen off again. So everything's doing okay.
Good. That's good. What have I been... I'll save the full spiel for my patrons in the later Patreon Arlocast. Oh, what I've been eating. What did I feel like there's like one thing. I guess I was tweeting about it. I was making a mousse, like chocolate mousse. And I made it, and it was super good. And then I made it a second time, and it was, like, even better. It was, like, mind-blowing good. So that's my thing right now is chocolate mousse. Just, like, creamy, thick kind of stuff. Like, I'm way into that right now. Like, whipped cream, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As far as desserts go, that's pretty much where I'm at. And actually, for a while, I couldn't do grains. Like, blame Kane. I don't know if any of you have seen the Twitter battle we were having on about mac and cheese. It's not even a battle. We literally just were retweeting mac and cheese and calling it a battle. And I went overboard on the mac and cheese. And I think for a while, refined grains, like whether wheat or rice or anything, was just bothering my stomach, like to no end. So I had to stop for a while. But I still wanted to eat junk food, so I settled on potatoes. For pretty much anything. Dude, yeah, I needed something that was bad for me and really tasty, but that wouldn't hurt my stomach. So I went with potatoes. So I ate a lot of tater tots. Oh,
That's
God.
the best way to go, really.
No, I need to get back on the ball. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. You know what? Yeah, I won't force it. We've been going a good amount of time. Yeah, the counter's pretty all right. This has been a lot of fun. I'm so glad that you guys were able to join me on such short notice, especially Yoshiller. What did I contact you about 20 minutes before we started rolling on this?
I mean, you did. I'm glad it worked out. If it makes you feel better, whenever I try to do group sessions in games and stuff, it's usually the same way. I'm like, hey, are you available? And someone goes, when? I'm like, right now. I'm trying to get a fourth player for this Splatoon session or fourth person for this Smash Bros. Session. Do you want to play? So it's fine. It would be hypocritical of me to not be available 10 minutes before someone needs to record something. So it worked out. I'm glad it did.
Yeah, I contacted She Says before, and I'm not trying to say like you know that you're lesser than She Says. I had to pick someone, and me and him have done some stuff before,
yeah,
but he never got back to me. And the funny thing is, he messaged me while we were recording, so I'm gonna go see what excuse he's got. And oh no, it looks like a pretty legitimate excuse. He's out of town. No, it's fine. I know, but I'm really glad that you were available.
That's kind of the big one. It's like I can't record this because I am physically away from my station.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually really happy it worked out this way, just because, like, for like the Patreon, like that's it. I'm glad I got to have one of my editors on, and kind of. I guess we didn't really talk too much behind the scenes. A little bit, a little small glimpse of the process and all that stuff, and we got to hear a little history of me and you, Lockstin, and it was a good time. I think this is good. I hope that Chris has a good time editing. I hope all you people on Patreon, you can look forward to hearing the full version. The reason we did this so short notice is because I've been planning this podcast for a while, and I've just been having a hard time, like, just figuring out what I want the logo to be. Like, all these little things, and music and all that stuff. But I just realized I would be really silly if I did not get this out before E3, so I could have, like, big E3 discussions. So I got that was the fire under my tushy. So yeah, I don't know when y'all can expect the full thing to go live, but I am hoping in the next few weeks we can make it happen. We're going to take this, we're going to edit it, we're going to see how it sounds and all that stuff. And I'm sure at some point in the future I will have both of you guys on again on the full official version, and we can talk more stuff. How's that sound? If you want to, unless you hated this experience and you don't want to be on it later. I understand.
This has been the worst experience of my life. No, it was great.
I kind of got that vibe. I was getting that vibe.
It was way fun.
No, it was fun. I'd love to come back on. I actually feel like I was a bit of a chattermouth this conversation, so I apologize if I rambled on for a bit. But I loved chatting with you guys. It was a pleasure to be on. That's
a podcast. It's about talking.
I know, but like, there's two other people here. It's not my podcast. It's the Arlocast. This ain't the Yoshiller cast.
Why not? Make a Yoshiller cast.
No, I better not, because then I definitely won't stop talking.
All right, well, I guess this is where he'd cue the music, but then I do all of the outro stuff, but I don't have a lot of outro stuff, so I'll just make it up. Thank you guys for listening to episode 0 of Arlocast. Thank you for joining us so much. Thank you. Also, thank you. It was a really good time. Credits. Oh, no, here's the thing. Cut the music. No, keep the music going. No, cut it. No, keep it going. Where can we find you guys? URLs and stuff. Say them out loud. No one can click them when you say them out loud, but you say them. Yoshiller, where can people find you?
Hi, on YouTube, I am just Yoshiller, youtube.com/Yoshiller. You type in Yoshiller, I am probably the first result that comes up. It's awesome. But on Twitter, I am twitter.com/RealYoshiller, because the regular Yoshiller was taken. I don't know how to fight to get the regular Twitter handle. So for the time being, I am Real Yoshiller. Look for the one with the actual icon of a guy doing a thumbs up with a Yoshi hat, not the one that has the generic, like, gray and white silhouette background looking thing.
Yeah, they're always, like, inactive for 10 years, too. It's always, like, an account that no one's using every time.
So, like, how do I get to reach out to Twitter and say, I want that account? Because we know people like Reggie were able to do that. So how do I get that privilege, huh? I know I'm not Reggie, but I would like to just have twitter.com/RealYoshiller. But one day.
Keep working at it. You'll get it someday. What about you, Lockstin?
At Lockstin, without any added things, because I got it first.
That sounds lovely.
Oh.
Though my YouTube... The YouTube, it's like youtube.com/Lockstin2, because when Google bought YouTube, I just, like, lost the ability to log in to my initial channel. So I'm Lockstin2 on YouTube. Or if you just search Lockstin and Noggin, it'll come up.
Yeah, Noggin with a G.
Yes, silent G.
I love that. I still love that. But it's like, it almost feels like it's a thing, but it's not. But you know what I mean? Like it feels right.
It does feel right. I mean, there is a G in eggnog. 2 different words, but it's like the same thing.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Also, the initial idea was like, it's you use the gaming part of your noggin, so it's noggin with a silent G. And then I found out that that's also like, or no, without the G, it's the like Nick Jr. thing that I completely was unaware of.
Oh yeah.
But it turns out with the G, there's like an SEO company that, like, I think because my channel pops up on Google now before an SEO company, I think they might have went under. I'm not sure.
The irony.
Yeah. I know another YouTuber, Rerez, did the same thing. Like, he found out, Rerez is an SEO company. And then they went under because you type in Rerez onto Google, they're going to show the YouTuber because that's how they make their money. It's funny.
So they lost at their own game.
You know, I'm not happy that a company went under, but I mean, like, it doesn't really get a better setup than that.
Okay, bring the music back in. Thank you everybody for listening. I guess I got nothing else. The music was done by Northman. When the whole thing goes live, there'll be all the credits and everything, so I'm just gonna end. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Well, no. This is the real credits right here. And that, my friends, is it for a time-traveling episode 0 of Arlocast, the place where it all started, the prequel. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow at Arlocast on Twitter for updates and to submit questions. This episode was edited and produced by Chris Jones. All the music you've been enjoying was created by Northnin. The Arlocast logo was created by Mar Castañeda. Links to all socials, channels, etc. for all guests and artists, along with an address for business inquiries, can be found in the show notes. As with all things I do, I am supported in part by my Patreon patrons, so an extra special thank you to them. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Arlocast.